Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my June TBR. So I don't think you guys are ready for this because this is the smallest TBR I will ever do. I didn't want to overcommit myself in June, having done the Vampire Diaries readathon in May, and then I'm going away on the 20th of June, so I really only had 3 weeks to play with in terms of what I was going to be reading. So I really wanted to keep it quite light, not put extra commitments on myself, and just enjoy the come down from the readathon before I go away and have a lovely holiday. So I have 2 books you will know about already if you've watched all of my previous videos, which thank you, super fans out there. One that is the Patreon buddy read, and then the Patreon TBR jar I have not yet pulled out. So the first book you might know about is Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series and the 6th month we're doing for Trash for Mass. So this is the first full-length novel because I hadn't read the prequels before, but this is the first like full-length novel in the series that I haven't yet read on doing the read-along. Like the others I'd read previously a couple of years ago, but I've never read this book. I don't know what is in store for me and I'm slightly terrified. At this point, these are massive books. This is about 700 pages long, so I say that I'm keeping it light, knowing that this is a full week's reading if I read 100 pages a day. But I'm excited to read this. I really want to know where the story goes. Obviously, I can't tell you anything about this book in the TBR, but I will link the Trash for Mass playlist, which has the announcement video and then all of the live shows we've done so far. Then we have the Chloe's Crime Scene Corner read for the month, which is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I have a mixed relationship with Riley Sager, so I'm excited to read another of the books. Some of them, like Final Girls, was a 5-star, and then I think Last Time I Lied was a 3-star, so I really want to know how I feel about this. It gives me vibes of No Exit by Taylor Adams. So this says, Charlie Jordan is being driven across the country by a serial killer. Maybe. Behind the wheel is Josh Baxter, a stranger Charlie met via the university rideshare scheme. On the road, they share their stories, carefully avoiding the subject dominating the news. The campus killer, responsible for 3 student murders, has just struck again. The miles tick by and Charlie begins to notice discrepancies in Josh's story. And why won't he let her see inside the trunk? As she begins to plan her escape from the man she is becoming certain is the killer, she starts to suspect that he knows exactly what she's thinking, meaning that she could very well end up as his next victim. I think this sounds really fun. It is reminding me of No Exit. It's a different story, but for some reason those are linked to my brain. Really want to know about this one. I've heard very good reviews for it, so let's hope it's one of my favourite Riley Sagers. Next up, we have the Patreon buddy read. So every month, the top 2 tiers of my Patreon buddy read a book from my physical TBR, and this month we've gone for The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have heard such good things about this, like genuinely amazing things. So this says, 6 months ago, Clementine West had the worst day of her life, so she came up with a plan to keep her heart safe. Stay busy, work hard, take no risks. And it's been working. That is until one day she finds a strange man standing in her kitchen. A man with kind eyes, a crooked smile, and a recipe for the perfect lemon meringue pie. The kind of man that, before everything, she could have fallen for. He's perfect, but for one thing, he lives in the past. 7 years ago to be exact. This should be impossible, but Clementine used to love impossible things, and maybe, just maybe, she will once again. So I think this sounds really different, really fun, and like Survive the Night, I have heard really, really good reviews for this. I know people who've read this and absolutely just devoured it, loved it, so I'm really excited to give it a go. And the final, can you believe final, book I'm going to be reading is one from the Patreon TBR jar. So this is one, again, where the top 2 tiers of my Patreon can choose any book off my TBR, put it in the jar, and I will pull it out, well, it's a mug, and I will pull it out and read it in that month. So let's see what we've got. There is romance in this, there's non-fiction, there's everything. So we're going to go for this one, which is... oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Okay, I knew I had to do it at some point, and this might be the month because my TBR is so small. This is Lindsay's pick, which is Midnight in Chernobyl. Okay, this book is not as long when we get rid of the, like, notes. Okay, if we include the glossary in that, it's 386 pages, which isn't horrific. This is something I've been interested in for quite a long time, but reading a whole book on it has been very daunting to me. So this says, the untold story of the world's greatest nuclear disaster. I will admit I didn't know much about Chernobyl until I saw the, was it a Sky show about it? Yeah, I didn't know that much, and as soon as I started watching that, I was absolutely gripped and just had to know everything that happened. That's about the time I got into videos like Sam and Colby, who went and did a video of like the remains of Chernobyl. So this does say, the dramatic true story of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant disaster, based on original reporting and interviews with survivors. I'm sure it's going to be incredibly captivating, but for some reason reading it as a physical book is terrifying to me. So I think I'm going to try and scout out the audiobook. Oh, but I can do it. I don't know why I feel like I can't read dense books physically, because I'm sure it would actually be great to read physically. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. So this is the 4th book I'm going to be reading, and it is very different to the rest of my TBR. So I'm sure you expected crazier plans for me, but this is my June TBR. Saying that, I only have the first 3 weeks of the month to read these things, and that's going to take me a week, and that's going to take me a week, and those 2 will take me the other week maybe. So yeah, it's actually going to be quite an interesting reading project to get all of these done, but it is the smallest TBR you've probably seen in about 2 years. So please do let me know if you have any opinions on any of these books. I would love to hear them. But for now, I'm going to carry on to filming my holiday TBR, which you'll be seeing in about 3 weeks from this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.